Whitey Ford, baseball's winningest World Series pitcher with 10 victories, gets ready for another appearance. With runners on first and third and one out, Ken Boyer lifts a long fly to Mickey Mantle. And Lou Brock scores the game's first run for St. Louis. 4-2. Mike Shannon comes up in the Cardinals' sixth inning with one man out and Ken Boyer on second base. Shannon takes a pitch while Berra paces the dugout. Shannon rips into the next one. Boyer takes a look at it, and so does Pepitone. It's a tremendous blast. A home run that sails over the bleachers and above the scoreboard. St. Louis fans go wild as Boyer and Shannon cross the plate, and the score is tied at 4-4. Tim McCarver keeps the Cardinal rally rolling with a drive to right center. The ball bounces off the wall, and McCarver digs for second, pulls up with a double. Yogi Berra goes to the mound. And here comes Downing, the fast-balling lefty. Berra huddles briefly with his new pitcher. With two away, Carl Warwick pinch hits for Ray Sadecki. Downing checks the runner, pitches, and Warwick pulls the ball toward left field. Linz makes a desperate dive. But the ball goes through for a hit. And McCarver comes sliding in with the lead run as Warwick goes into second. Downing now faces Curt Flood. And the little center fielder drives the ball deep to left field. Tom Tresh starts backing up for the ball, but he seems uncertain on the play. At the last split second, Tresh turns, but he has lost the ball. And as it bounces off the wall, Julian Javier, running for Warwick, comes around to score. The speedy Flood hot-pushes the third with a triple. And the Cardinals lead 6-4. A Yankee run in the eighth reduces the Cardinals lead to 6-5. Pete Nicholson comes in to pitch the last of the eighth for the Yankees. With two men on and two out, Nicholson fires the ball, and Flood singles to left field. On the hit, Mike Shannon scores easily from second base. Lou Brock picks on the next pitch, wraps a double into the left field corner. That scores pinch runner Jerry Bouchette and Curt Flood, and the pressure on the Cardinals is eased considerably as they extend their lead to 9-5. Barney Schultz has retired Elston Howard and Clete Boyer to start the Yankee ninth. Now, Joe Pepitone is the last New York hope. Joe flies out to Curt Flood in center field, and it's all over. The Cardinals win 9-5 as the crowd goes wild, and the fans swarm onto the field, while Schultz, the relief star, and the rest of the Cardinals head for the dugout. It's a big win for the Cardinals, who grab an early lead in the series. A slim 1-0 edge. He pitches to McCarver, and Tim opens with a single to right. Mantle fumbles the ball, and McCarver dashes on to second base. Simmons, who has been pitching superbly, is at bat. Boughton pitches and knocks his cap off. Frequent occurrence with him. Simmons slashes the next pitch at Boyer. Clete dives for it. Can't hold on. The ball caroms away. And McCarver continues home with the run that ties the score at 1-1. The Yankees are on their toes as Downing tries a changeup. Boyer smashes it deep to left field. It might be out of here. It could be. It is a home run. A grand slam that's fair by only 5 or 6 feet. Warwick, Flood, and Grote cross the plate ahead of Boyer, and the Cardinals take a 4-3 lead. Ken Boyer, joyously saluted by his mates, is only the 9th player in history to hit a grand slam homer in World Series competition. 6 of them have been Yankees. Warren Giles, president of the National League, presents a portrait of pride and confidence. Roger Craig and Ken Boyer, heroes of the 4th game, still are enjoying it. Another key man in the big triumph, reliever Ron Taylor. The series lead is at stake. With the game still scoreless in the Yankee 4th, Bob Gibson blazes a fastball past hard-swinging Mickey Mantle. With 2 outs, Gibson, with tremendous stuff at this point, also strikes out Joe Pepitone. He is congratulated by his mates as the game continues in the scoreless deadlock. With 1 out in the Cardinal 5th, Gibson lifts a sharp fly to left. Tresh comes racing in and makes a desperate try for the ball, but doesn't quite reach it. And somebody's a little unhappy. Stivelmeyer pitches to Flood. Kurt hits a ground ball toward Richardson. Bobby gets in position for the ball. Suddenly a bad hop. Off the heel of his glove, off his chest. Both runners are safe. Stivelmeyer is in a jam with Brock up and Gibson on second. Mel pitches. Brock cracks a single to right field. Gibson sprinting home with the first run. Before the inning is over, the Cardinals have added another run and lead 2-0. In the 10th inning, with Bill White on third base and Dick Grote on first base and 1 out, Nicholson pitches to McCarver, and Tim takes a vicious cut. It's a long one, way back. Mantle heading for the stands and might be out of there. It is a home run. And the Cardinals jump ahead 5-2 as 3 runners score. The homer was his 3rd hit of the game, his 8th of the series, sending his average soaring to .471. With a runner on and 2 out in the Yankee 10th, Bob Gibson pitches to Maris. Roger lifts a foul behind third. Boyer makes a spectacular catch right over the head of National League President Warren Giles. The Cardinals win a dramatic 5-2 victory that gives them a 3-2 edge in the series. They swarm around Ken Boyer and then Gibson, with a jubilant youngster also giving a hug to the pitcher. In the 4th, the Cardinals have 1 run in with Shannon on first and McCarver on third. Stivelmeyer pitches, and there goes Shannon. He slides in safely. Here comes McCarver. He scores a double steal. Stivelmeyer delivers again to Maxwell. Dow lines a single to right. Here's Mantle's throw to the plate. It's late. Shannon scores. In the Yankee 5th with 2 on and 1 out, Linz lifts a pop fly into short right. Shannon makes a dazzling catch of the ball. Fires on the run to Dick Grote. Doubles Tom Tresh off second base. Cardinals are leading 3-0 in the 5th. Al Downing has succeeded Mel Stottlemyre on the mound. Lou Brock rips into Downing's first pitch. A tremendous drive and might be out of here. It could be. It is a home run. Brock concludes his home run tour, Yogi Berra looks a bit shocked by the explosive Wallace. Lou, the speed boy with power, gets a big welcome from his mates. After Bill White singles, Ken Boyer keeps the rally rolling. It's a double, and St. Louis has 3 more runs and a 6-0 margin. In the Yankees' 6th inning with Richardson on second and Maris on first, activity in the Cardinal bullpen. Gibson, whose pitching style is reminiscent of Dizzy Dean, just keeps firing free and easy. In the Cardinals' 7th, Steve Hamilton retires the first 2, and then Kenny Boyer hits deep to left. In there for a home run. Fleet gets a playful nudge from his brother. Ken is the first Cardinal ever to hit 2 homers in a World Series. The solo shot extends the Cardinal margin to 7-3. McCarver talks with Gibson, who still needs 1 more out, and the troublesome Bobby Richardson is up. But the weary Gibson reaches back for something extra. Richardson pops up. Down Maxville gathers it in. The Cardinals are the new world champions. Gibson, Boyer, and McCarver join in a big bear hug. Now it's one huge swirling mass of players and fans. Wild enthusiasm, which is a tribute to baseball's unflagging popularity. This is one day St. Louis will never forget. It was a stirring triumph by a Cardinal team reminiscent of the Gas House game. It had some of the speed of that colorful team of the 30s, some of the pitching, and all of its great heart and courage. And that, in the end, carried them through to baseball's highest honor, the World Championship. In the 3rd, Brock leads off again, and Santiago mops his brow, quite understandably. Santiago cuts loose, and Lou Brock whistles a low liner to center field for his 2nd hit. That brings Flood to the plate again, and Santiago is quite conscious of the base-stealing potential of the situation. But Flood hits away and smashes the ball into the left field corner, where it caroms off the wall for a double, with Brock taking 3rd. Roger Maris is the next batter. Santiago looks for the next sign after getting 2 quick strikes on Maris. But this time, Roger grounds to Scott with the infield back, and Brock scores easily. It's the first run of the game as St. Louis takes the lead. Going into the 7th, Santiago has dueled Gibson to a standstill. But Lou Brock leads off with his 4th straight hit, tying a World Series record. Flood is up now and looking for a sign. On the first pitch to Flood, there goes Brock again. And he's safe with a head-first slide. Petrocelli complains in vain on the decision by umpire Umont. We'll play it back in slow motion, and you can make your own decision. Santiago faces Maris with Brock on 3rd, 1 out, and the infield playing in. Santiago pitches, Maris hits towards right field, but Adair makes a spectacular diving stop. He scrambles to his feet, but it's too late to get Brock, who scores. And now the Cardinals lead 2-1. It's the Boston 9th, and Gibson is still stubbornly trying to protect his slim 2-1 edge. He has fanned 10 and allowed only 6 hits. He quickly retires 2, but then Scott walks. Manager Shandes goes to the mound to caution Gibson. A homer over that short fence could win for Boston now. Mike Andrews flies to right field. Maris grabs it to end the game. The Cardinals win 2-1. Dick Hughes, the St. Louis starter, topped the Cardinals staff this year with a 16-6 record. In the Boston second, Adair flies to left. And Brock spears the ball with a high leaping catch. His momentum carries him against the wall before he can stop. Let's rerun the play in slow motion. Brock's leap not only is high, but also far, as if he's doing a broad jump. And away they go, relaxing as they speed over fleecy white clouds. Busch Stadium, beautiful new home of the Cardinals, which was opened May 12th last year. They drew a record 2 million this season. The 630-foot high Gateway Arch is in the background. And now the players come to attention for the national anthem. Manager Dick Williams checks the ground rules with the umpires. Nelson Briles, St. Louis pitcher, was 14 wins and 5 losses, becoming a starter after Bob Gibson broke his ankle. Gary Bell, acquired from Cleveland, will start for Boston. He was 13-13 overall this season. Lou Brock leads off for the Cardinals in the first inning. Brock meets a curveball perfectly for a line drive, and there goes the St. Louis Swiftie. He loses his helmet as usual before sliding in with a triple. Curt Flood steps into the box. After taking one pitch, Flood rips the next one for a line single to center, and Brock scores. In the Cardinals' second, Tim McCarver opens the inning. He drills the ball through the middle for a single. Mike Shannon digs in at the plate. Shannon cuts viciously at Bell's first pitch, and there it goes. Yastrzemski starts in pursuit, but it's a home run. Shannon comes trotting around third base while Tim McCarver scores just ahead of him. It's the second World Series homer for Mike, who hit his first against the Yankees in 1964. In the Cardinals' sixth, Maris lines a single to right on a 3-2 pitch. Lou Brock scores from third, and St. Louis leads 4-1. With Dan Osinski pitching in the Cardinal eighth, Orlando Cepeda hammers the ball off the wall in right center for a double, and Maris scores. St. Louis now leads 5-2. Nelson Briles quickly retires the first two Red Sox in the ninth. Now he shakes off two signs as he faces Jerry Adair. Briles gets the signal he wants, and Adair pops to Shannon. The Cardinals win and take a 2-1 lead in the series. McCarver and Cepeda lead the charge to congratulate Briles. This was really his 10th straight victory. Briles won 10 out of 12 after becoming a starter and closed the National League season with 9 in a row. It's a dark, cloudy day for the fourth game, and the lights are on. And there go the Cardinals. Bob Gibson, who won the opener, meets the Red Sox again. After Gibson retires the first two, he faces Yastrzemski. And Carl lines a single to right to maintain his constant hitting threat in the series. Bob Gibson gets a slider over the outside corner, and Scott strikes out. Jose Santiago is back for his second duel with Gibson. Lou Brock and Curt Flood are on base with none out in the first inning, and Roger Maris is at bat. Maris smashes a line drive into the left field corner. Roger Maris pulls up at second base with a stand-up double. Brock and Flood, the St. Louis Swifties, come racing home to score the game's first runs. With Maris now on third and one out, Tim McCarver steps to the plate, wiping his hands. The infield is in. With a 2-0 count, McCarver connects with a belt-high fastball and pulls a single in the right field. That sends Maris home with another run. Manager Shane Deese looks over the situation. There are 2 on and 2 out as Maxville comes to bat. Jose Santiago is shaken up, but he keeps firing, and Maxville slashes one past Petrocelli for a single to left. It's the 6th hit off Santiago, and McCarver scores. St. Louis has jumped away to a 4-run lead. With 2 out in the Red Sox second, Rico Petrocelli strikes out on a curveball that's almost in the dirt. In the Boston third, Joe Foy fans on an outside pitch. Jerry Stevenson is the Red Sox pitcher in the Cardinals third. 1 run is across with Shannon on first and 1 out when Javier steps to the plate. Stevenson delivers, and Javier smashes the ball past the diving Jones. Yastrzemski runs it down in left field. Yaz cuts loose with a throw, but Shannon scores from first. The Cardinals now lead 6-0. Bob Gibson warms up for the Boston 8. He's been in complete command so far, allowing only 3 hits with not a runner passing first base. With 2 out, Jose Tartabull, who has 1 of the 3 hits, is at bat. Gibson pitches, and wow, he almost gets sculled as Tartabull's low liner whizzes over his head into center field. The St. Louis partisans in the crowd are enjoying themselves to the hilt. Bob Gibson still has a shutout going into the 9th inning as Carl Yastrzemski leads off for Boston. Yaz tears into Gibson's first pitch for a hit to right that bounces off the wall, and he goes into second with a double. Jerry Adair is now at bat with 2 out. Adair smashes the ball through Gibson, but Javier grabs it and throws him out. And St. Louis wins 6-0 to take a 3-1 lead in the series. It was all Bob Gibson today as he fired a 5-hitter for his second victory over the Red Sox. Busch Stadium, bright and beautiful in the sun, is the scene of action as Boston, down 3-1, fights for survival in the series. Lonborg is on the verge of his second successive shutout. He has 2 out in the 9th with Maris at bat. Rogers swings, and there it goes, over the right field wall for a home run. It's the 6th homer he has hit in World Series competition. That ruins Lonborg's shutout, and he's still 1 out away from victory with Orlando Cepeda coming up. With Javier on second and 2 out in the Cardinals third, the sizzling Lou Brock again poses a threat. Gary Waslewski pitches, but Brock slashes a grounder toward right. Andrews dives but misses, and Javier scores easily. Waslewski checks Brock and then pitches to Flood, and there goes Lou on another steal. He beats the throw easily. Waslewski pitches, and Flood rifles a low liner to left field for a single. And here comes Brock. He's sliding headfirst safely past catcher Elston Howard. Lou Brock gets a wild welcome as St. Louis now leads 2-1. With Bob Tolan on first base in the Cardinals' 7th, Brock takes a tremendous cut at a John Wyatt fastball. It might be, it could be, it is. Holy cow, what a blast. Probably 440 feet. Tolan and Brock cross the plate. And Lou gets the royal treatment again from his mates. Now the game is tied at 4-all. Manager Red Shandies gets together with Bob Gibson, his starter, in this decisive 7th game. Jim Toomey, the Cardinal publicity director, is on hand early, and so is the great Stan Musial, now the St. Louis Cardinals general manager. Boston pins all its hopes on Jim Lonborg, who will pitch with only 2 days' rest in the head-and-head duel of the two pitching aces. In the Cardinals' third, Dal Maxfield opens with a smash off the center field wall. And Maxfield sprints into third with a triple. After 2 outs, Flood is up, with Maxfield still on third. Lonborg pitches, Kurt lines a single to center, and Maxfield scores the game's first run. On the next pitch, Roger Maris grounds towards first, and the ball gets past Scott for a single to right field. And Flood races around to third. With Cepeda at bat, Lonborg breaks a wild pitch into the dirt, and Flood scores. In the Boston fourth, with 2 out, Bob Gibson still hasn't allowed a hit, and he fans Harrelson. It's his 7th strikeout. Newsmen from all over the country and even from overseas are here for the World Series. With 1 away in the 5th, Gibson hammers a long drive to center. The ball lands on a ledge just to the right of the flagpole. It's a home run. Homers aren't unique for Bob, but this is his first in the World Series. St. Louis scores again in the inning and leads 4-0. With Shannon and McCarver on base in the Cardinals' 6th, Santiago is warming up in the bullpen. Julian Javier comes up with none out. Lonborg bears down, but Javier slams one to left. It's a home run, and Yastrzemski just watches. It's the 13th home run in the series by both clubs, and this one is a crusher. McCarver and Shannon score ahead of Javier in a joyous parade that gives St. Louis a commanding 7-1 margin. Javier gets a big reception from his mates. In the Cardinals' 9th, Lou Brock is in there again for his 7th stolen base of the series, a new record. Carl Yastrzemski leads off for the Red Sox in the 9th and gets a standing ovation. Gibson has a 2-hitter and a 7-2 lead as he faces Yastrzemski. Carl smashes a single to right field. That brings Ken Harrelson to the plate. Gibson delivers, and Harrelson hits a grounder to short. It's Maxfield to Javier to Cepeda, a double play. Now, 1 out from victory, Gibson makes a supreme effort, and Scott strikes out. The Cardinals win. They're the new world champions. And Bob Gibson, with his 3rd victory, has brought them through in the decisive 7th game, even as he did in 1964 against the New York Yankees. It was another spectacular series, with the Red Sox fighting their way back after being down 3-1, with records shattered and glittering heroes on both sides, to underline once again that for sheer drama and thrills, the World Series is unmatched anywhere on the sports scene.
We're gonna cheer and boo and raise a hullabaloo. elegant Busch Stadium is the setting for America's greatest sports spectacle, the World Series. All eyes key on Bob Gibson, a 22-game winner who established a new record for the lowest earned run average in National League history. He strikes out 2 in the first and 3 in the second. Norm Cash, Willie Horton, and Jim Northrup all go down. The St. Louis crowd loves every minute. Cardinal half of the fourth, Shannon faces McLean with Maris and McCarver on and 1 down. The Tigers look a little tense as Willie Horton lets the ball get by him for an error. Roger Maris scores the first Cardinal run of the series, and McCarver goes to third. Shannon the second on the error. Javier at bat. He singles sharply to right to send McCarver and Shannon racing around for a 3-run inning. 6th inning. Tigers trailing 3-0. McAuliffe batting for Detroit with 1 out. Dick grounds a single to right. Gibson strikes out Stanley and now faces the veteran Al Kaline. Al lines a double down the left field line. McAuliffe holds at third. Norm Cash is up, but the incomparable Bob Gibson stops the Tigers with another strikeout to retire the side. Bob is now threatening the all-time World Series strikeout record of 15 for 1 game. Bottom of the 6th, Lou Brock the batter. They say the best thing to do with Brock is to keep him off the bases. I'm sure this isn't what they had in mind. Lou's home run makes it 4-0 St. Louis. Gibson is in complete control. Opening the 9th, Gibson faces Stanley, and Mickey loops a single to center. But it's the last hit of the game for the Tigers. By now, Gibson has struck out 14 batters to bring him just 1 shy of the World Series record. The batter is Al Kaline. What a pitcher! Norm Cash is up next, and the count goes to 3-2. And this pitch makes history. A standing ovation for Bob Gibson. But Bob's not quite finished. 1 more out to go, and the batter is Detroit's leading home run hitter, Willie Horton. A record 17 strikeouts. Gibson also ties Lefty Gomez's record of 6 straight victories in World Series competition. Lou Brock leads off with a hit up the middle. Flood comes up while Wilson worries about Brock. There goes that man again. His second stolen base of the game, and his thievery promptly pays off. Flood rifles a double into the left field corner, and Brock scores easily from second. Pat Dobson is the Tiger pitcher now. 2 on, 2 out. McCarver the batter. And there it goes. Into the upper right field stands. And the Cardinals now lead the Tigers 4-2. Don McMahon pitching for Detroit in the 7th inning. Curt Flood opens it with a single. And of course, he's almost as fast as Brock. Roger Maris is the next batter. Tries to check his swing, but bloops a double down the left field line. Orlando Cepeda had hitting problems in the 1967 series against the Red Sox. But this is another year. And there it goes. Willie Horton going back, but it's just in there. And that blows the game wide open, 7-3 St. Louis. Now keep your eye on pitcher Horner as he goes for that final out. The batter is pinch hitter Jim Price. He sends a fly ball to deep left. Lou Brock has it. It's a happy Joe Horner as the favored Cardinals take a 2-1 lead in the series. Next day, there's a hangover sadness in Detroit, and the skies rain down on Tiger Stadium. But series fans can't be discouraged by this. They come out anyway, for today is the occasion of the heralded rematch between Denny McLain and Bob Gibson. Commissioner Eckert and his aide Joe Reichler discuss the big question, to play or not to play. The Hawkers make their own kind of sunshine in the stands. How come it always tastes so much better at a ball game? Vice President Hubert Humphrey is here with Commissioner Eckert and Tiger owner John Fetzer. So play ball. Denny McLain pitching. The wet weather hasn't dampened Lou Brock. He belts McLain's second pitch into the stands. A tremendous 420-foot home run. What a dismal beginning for the Tigers. 1 out later, things continue to look really bleak for Detroit fans. McLain, obviously shaken, drops a good throw while covering first against Maris. Tim McCarver's up, and baseball's first 30-game winner in 3 decades is in trouble again. Only a nice cutoff in left center by Willie Horton keeps Maris from scoring. But Maris comes in a moment later as Mike Shannon chops one over the mound and beats it out. Third inning, McLain faces Curt Flood, the first batter. He singles to right. Once again, it's Tim McCarver. Jim Northrup tries to cut off the ball, but it goes through for a triple. Flood comes in to score, and McCarver pulls up with his second triple of the series. With 2 out, Shannon doubles down the third baseline, and the Cardinals lead 4-0. The rains come down hard again, and the umpires call time. They order the field covered, and everybody waits patiently for 1 hour and 14 minutes on this sunless Sunday. When the action finally resumes, Joe Sparma has replaced Denny McLain on the mound. First man to face Sparma in the 4th inning is Bob Gibson. And there it goes. In 1967, Gibson hit a series homer against the Red Sox. Now he has 2 for a pitcher's record. Detroit's other nemesis, Brock, drives deep to right center for a triple. And that's all for Joe Sparma. Maris is up. Look at that jump by Brock as Maris grounds out, and it's now 6-0 Cardinals. In the bottom of the 4th, Gibson gets a wee bit careless. And here's a home run by Jim Northrup. John Hiller, pitching for the Tigers in the 8th, gets tagged by Javier. And umpire Jim Honeychick is there to call it. Right on the line for a double. Mike Shannon, who reached on an error, holds up at third. After a walk to Maxwell fills the bases, Gibson walks to force in a run. The bases are still loaded. Up comes Lou Brock again, pure poison to the Tigers. He socks a tremendous cloud into deep center. It's his 8th hit of this World Series. 2-run score. When Stanley hesitates with the relay, Gibson scores, and Brock winds up at second. Last of the ninth, the Cardinals click off a neat double play to end the ball game. Bob Gibson sets an all-time World Series record with his 7th consecutive victory, and St. Louis now leads 3-1. One more loss, and Detroit is done. Who owns the one Tiger victory is Mayo Smith's choice to keep the Tigers alive. It doesn't look good as Brock again leads off with a solid hit, a double down the left field line. More bad news as Flood and Cepeda await their turn. Kurt rams a single to right, and the flying Brock scores easily. Now it's Flood who's threatening to steal. Cepeda the batter. There he goes. And Flood swipes second. And if that isn't bad enough, Cepeda has still another jolt for the tottering Tigers. He sends a high drive to left. It's his second home run of the series, and the Cardinals are quickly in front of Lolich 3-0.